This Big Mac dupe is freaking delicious and just like the original. Actually, it's even better. I could not find a pre-made patty that was thin enough for a Big Mac, so I decided to try 2 different types of vegan meat in this recipe. The first is the pre-made Beyond patties. I'll just flatten them out a bit. I also decided to try the Impossible Ground. This is working out very well because I can easily make them as thin as I like, and I'm getting 4 burgers out of the package as opposed to 2 with the Beyond Burgers at a similar price point. When my skillet is hot, I add a bit of neutral oil. Although the patties are fatty, they still tend to stick quite a bit. I'm frying up the Impossible patties first. Because they are very thin, they will cook very quickly. I was always a bit of a burger purist and enjoy them with just salt. I'm using Daiya American cheese for these burgers. I find Daiya to melt the best. Covering with a lid helps the cheese melt faster, but I don't want the cheese to melt completely. As soon as the cheese begins to soften, I pull the burgers off the heat. I'm now going to cook the Beyond patties. Even though I flattened them, they still aren't as thin as I like. And if I'm being honest, I prefer the flavor of Impossible Burgers to Beyond Burgers. It's just a personal preference. While the burgers cook, I'm going to prep the other burger toppings. These burgers call for shredded lettuce, and that's easy enough to do. I'm using iceberg lettuce, which is the proper lettuce for a Big Mac. I make very thin cuts in one direction, then a couple of cuts in the other direction. The result is, well, it's shredded lettuce, of course. I would say that my recipe for the sauce is pretty on point. We start with basic mayonnaise and add yellow mustard, sweet relish, and grated onion. I grated the onion in the sauce and for the burger with a stand grater. Very simple process. The seasonings include onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, and just a pinch of salt. Because the mayonnaise and mustard already contain salt, much more isn't necessary. While ketchup is not required flavor-wise, I do like the touch of color it adds to the sauce. You can leave this out if you like. A bit of apple cider vinegar adds the needed acid. One final note about the sauce. McDonald's special sauce includes high fructose corn syrup. While I haven't added sugar to this recipe, adding a bit of sugar to your sauce would make it a bit more like the original. Doesn't that look on point? Now onto the buns, and as the jingle goes, 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. And that's what we have here, sesame seed buns. Which begs the question, how do we make the center bun? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We are just using another bottom bun and cutting off the brown portion. After some trial and error, it's much easier to cut off the brown portion with the bun flat on the cutting surface. Duh. And we're going to toast these buns. Don't you find toasted buns more delicious and satisfying than the non-toasted variety? Anyways, a bit of butter on each inside portion of the bun and butter on both sides of the middle piece. Time to finish cooking the burgers. A bit of salt and then the cheese for melting. I'm going to toast the buns in a sauté pan for just a couple of minutes until they're getting a bit of color. It's finally the time to layer the burgers, and if you want the burgers to truly be like a Big Mac, you have to layer them the same. We start with the bottom layer, add a bit of special sauce, then grated onion. Just a warning about the onion. The flavor gets very concentrated because of the side of the onion pieces. So unless you really love a strong onion flavor, I'd go on with just about a teaspoon of onion per layer. Add the shredded lettuce, then cheese and burger patty. The second layer begins with the middle bun, special sauce, onion, lettuce, pickles, another burger with cheese. They totally quenched my need for a Big Mac, and I cannot wait to make them again.
Oh my god, they look so good.
Check out my channel for lots of great recipes. Some healthy, some not so healthy, but all of them vegan.